In this video, we look at what a week looks like in the life of a property manager. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gulf Coast Investing. My name is Casey, and I am so happy that you are joining us today. On this channel, we talk about all things investing right here on the Gulf Coast. So I had a buddy of mine whose property that we actually manage down here in Gulf Shores. He said that he would love a little day in the life of, week in the life of video to show what it looks like to be a property manager down here on the coast, and just being a property manager in general. At some point here soon, I'm actually going to do a day in the life video and actually go take you to some units and show, day in and day out what it looks like between phone calls and checking units and, a lot of the networking and things like that we do. But I wanted to go on here and go ahead and make this video just kind of talking about what does the average week look like as a property manager. So number one, the question in and of itself is about impossible to manage, because every week, every day, every hour looks different. You could have something planned and you get one phone call and your entire day is changed just based on that phone call with something happening to a property or, to the community or anything like that, with a guest that calls, things like that. So you never really know. So the best thing to do is to plan. So we try to, and what we're doing this off season is meeting with cleaners, maintenance people, all of our staff, things like that, and just planning for the unknown, planning for, hey, if everything looks perfect, here's what we want to do, here's what we want to accomplish, and then here's all the backup plans for if and when things don't go according to plan. So the number one thing is you got to have a plan, and you got to have a backup plan for the backup plan, because you just never know. But typically, just say like today is a Monday that I'm filming this. Typically, Monday is a pretty crazy day on the phones and catch-up wise from the weekend. So we have a lot of people that, again, are booking reservations and making changes and things like that over the weekend when they're off work and hanging out with friends and family and planning trips. And sometimes things happen with credit card, the credit card bounces, or, the schedules end up changing and they need to change their dates, or they need to cancel dates. And all this pent up things and things that may happen over the weekend, you get those calls on Monday. So everybody's calling in Monday saying, hey, I need to update this, I need to change this, I need to do that. There's also some things that happen over the weekend that's not an emergency, but they need to be handled pretty quickly. So like today, there's a couple units I have to go run by to make sure everything is looking okay. One had a possible leak at a unit, so I got to go get eyes on that. We got to go move furniture off the balcony of another unit because this week they're starting work outside. So Monday is a big day for catching up on emails and texts that we missed over the weekend, and then just phone calls and things like that are coming in. So the next couple days throughout the week, again, you always want to plan. So I like to have a schedule. Me and a buddy of mine, we try to work out every morning between 6:30 and 7, get about an hour workout in once we get started. So try to do that. Then try to get into our home office. So we have 2 physical location offices, but I do a lot of work out of my home office, just again, because I could be running around getting phone calls and things like that. So try to get into the office again. First thing, answer emails, answer some important things coming up that we may have doing. And then it's just knocking out the list. So normally what happens Monday, you have a pretty big list of things that you have to get done and things to do. So usually the middle part of the week, it's doing those type of things. And then Thursday, Friday, you're getting ready for the weekend. So you're making sure everything's covered. Right now, we're in a little bit of the slower season, so there's not as many check-ins day to day. But between that 2 and 4 o'clock time, we're looking at, hey, what units checked out this morning? What units are checking back in this afternoon? Which ones do we need to make sure, they got checked after the cleaners got done with them? Making sure that the units themselves are ready for check-in. So every afternoon, no matter what day it is, 7 days a week, we're making sure between that 2 and 4 o'clock time that the units that are having check-ins that day are ready to go. Cleaned, no maintenance issues, sitting in the check-in instructions and the check-in codes to the guests, and making sure they're in. The nighttime, every night, again, we have somebody on call literally 24/7 because if there's any issues that come up, if they get in and a toilet's running or something broke or they have questions, Even though we have a book that has all the information about the Wi-Fi and door codes and how to get out to a pool, people don't read the information. People have questions. So usually that 4 to about 7 o'clock time, especially during the summertime, can be a little chaos for whoever's on call, because we're going and we're having to answer questions for 50 units that may have checked in, making sure that they are taken care of. So that's kind of what the afternoon, every afternoon looks like, again, 7 days a week, making sure you're covered that afternoon, evening time. And then nighttime, of course, not a ton of work. You just got to make sure there's somebody on call, because if there is an emergency, if something happens, if somebody gets locked out at 2 a.m., I got somebody called because the building fire alarm went off at 2 a.m. during the summer. Nothing we could have done about it. They just wanted to let us know. So literally woke me up out of bed just to let us know that the fire truck was there and that it was a false alarm. So just crazy, but that's some of the craziness we deal with in the day-to-day. And then again, we always say we could have one unit where somebody goes in and says, this is the worst unit I've ever stayed in. You know, I can't believe I rented this. I want all my money back. The very next guest goes in the exact same unit, literally 12 hours later, or even less, 6 hours later, and we'll get a review on that that'll say, this is the best vacation, this is the best unit I've ever stayed in. So it is so hard to plan around all the unknown of people. People these days, they are just crazy. You just never know what you're going to get into. We even have a small amenities that we start people with. So like a hotel, you get some shampoos and some conditioners, some hand soaps, paper towels, toilet paper, things like that. Thanks to the dishwasher and for the washing machine, pods and all that. We give to them. Some people come in and they complain that they didn't have enough toilet paper for 12 people for 2 weeks to stay there, which would have cost the price of their entire reservation pretty much to have that stocked up. Other people come in and they're not expecting anything, and they are thrilled to know, hey, I didn't have to go to the store tonight because I had toilet paper, I had paper towels, I had some soap, so I didn't have to go to the store after driving for 12 hours all day. Thank y'all for providing things. So you just never know what you're going to get. So that's why literally we have somebody on call 24/7 ready to take those calls and deal with the guests and things like that. So that's some of the day-to-day, that's the everyday things that we have to deal with. But wrapping up the week, as we're getting into the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, especially during the busy season, those are our busiest times of the year. So most of our check-ins, most of our check-outs and then check-ins are going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, most of them coming on Saturday. So we just know during the 100 days, 100 days of summer, we call it. Saturdays is the busiest day. It's all hands on deck. Everybody's working on Saturday, making sure units are getting cleaned, checkers are getting in, there's no maintenance issues, there's no damage that guests did, and getting it ready for the next guest. Again, on the island down here, there may be 10,000, anywhere from 8 to 10,000 cleans that are happening on any given Saturday during the summertime. So lots of moving parts, lots of moving things to watch out for. During this off-season time, our Saturdays and Sundays are a little better, so that's nice. We kind of actually have a little bit of a weekend and rest time, especially now that we have more staff. We can kind of switch who's on call for the weekend and who's having to deal with things. So it's kind of nice to get a little bit of a break and a downtime from the crazy season, having all that done. And then again, Sunday, I like to always, look at things, plan the days and the weeks ahead. So I'll get with my wife, we'll look at our schedules, we'll look at our calendars and say, okay, what do we have coming up this week? What business do we have to get done? What personal do we have to get done? And what community items and things like that, events that we have coming up, so we can plan the week. You always want to plan the week on Sunday as much as you can. Goes back to what I said at the beginning, to have a plan. So set that plan Sunday night. That way Monday morning you can hop right into action. You don't want Monday you have to sit around for 2 hours figuring out what you have to do today, what you have to do this week, because the phones are blowing up and people are getting started at 8 a.m. So plan that out Sunday night and get ready. So hope that kind of gives you some insight to the craziness and some of the highs and lows. And again, summer season, how crazy it is, and then off season, how times get a little bit better and things like that. So again, I am planning on one in the future to literally take y'all around with me all day to show you kind of what we got into for the day and things like that. So hope this gave you some good insight. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week.